No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And good morning, this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you've joined me this morning. Do you have your coffee? I don't have my coffee. I forgot it in the kitchen, and I can't run there while I'm on air to get my coffee. So, I'll probably have to warm it up and get ready to drink it at another time, after I'm done with you guys this morning. I tell you, coffee's so important to me because it is like this comfort thing, right? I only have 1 cup a day. But it's like this comfort thing while I'm reading through my emails and I'm reading through content that I want to present and everything else. I drink coffee. And it helps. Well, at least I think it helps. It might be a mental situation, but I think it helps. Listen, the other day I posted a comment that said that the most defaults on auto loans is happening between the ages, the highest, is on ages 19 through 29. Those individuals have the highest amount of defaults on the auto loan and also repos. And that's not a good thing. But why did that happen? Well, it was because there was a lot of free money going around during the pandemic and people were buying things with it. Instead of saving it or paying off their bills, they bought stuff. And one of those big ticket items that they bought were new cars. But unfortunately, they bought cars at a very high price and a very high interest rate and a very high monthly payment, $800 to $1,000. So they bought stuff that they could not afford. And now they're at the point with no more free money, and they can't make the payments on their cars. And that's a bad situation to be in as a nation when the lending organizations out there gave out all these loans to these people, and they do it also in education too. But you see, individuals at that age have not been trained what a budget is. They don't know how to spend their money. They don't know how to save. They don't know how to invest. They don't know any of this stuff. Because our schools do not teach them how to be financial managers of their money. They don't understand it. They think money's coming in, let's spend it. Let's go out there and get that new hot rod. Let's go out and get that new car, that new BMW. But they don't realize that, you see, what happens is when all that free money disappears, now they're back to real life where they have to live within their means. And their means that they can't afford that car. So we're seeing this every single day. More and more autos are going up for auction. And a lot of them are being sent there from the banks and from auto dealers. And they've got to get rid of these cars. And so more and more cars are being repossessed and more cars are being defaulted on by individuals between the ages of 19 and 29. They have the highest rate of default. Now, do you think that if they had the educational level to really think things through, that they would be able to make better financial decisions? I really believe they would. I tell you, when I was a young kid, when I was in grades 1 through 5, we had a bank that would come to our school, and we would make our deposits in that bank, and we would save up money. And we knew how to. If we got a quarter, if we got $1, if we got $5, sometimes it was $10 that we were depositing. But we learned how to save and learned how to manage our monies when we were very young. That doesn't happen anymore. You don't have teachers that are focused on the financial results of their students. They don't care. See, the problem with our education system is that we have become so involved in the political side, the social political side, instead of actually teaching. Now, a lot of this education could have been taught in a business class in high school. It could have been taught in a math class in high school, and the young entrepreneurs class in high school. But the problem is they're not being taught. They're not being taught how to manage a dollar. And if you don't know, you're going to make some really bad financial decisions. If you don't know how to manage your money, if you don't know how to even balance your checkbook. In fact, that's even easy now because the banks really do it for you online. But if you don't know how to set yourself a budget, if you don't know what money is coming in and what you can afford to go out, you're going to make some really bad decisions. And that's what happened during the pandemic and when all of this money was given out to all these people for unemployment money and stimulus and everything else. They got used to this free money and they thought it was going to last and last and last forever. So they didn't think it through financially, logically, common sense wise. And that's where we stand today, is that we have so many young people who do not know or do not understand what money is all about and what your life's budget is about. And if they don't understand that, they're going to make some very, very bad decisions. Now, you talk about all these individuals who have student loans. They had options. They had a whole bunch of options. They could have gone to community college and spent $3,000 a year, maybe a little bit higher than that. But they could have started years 1 and 2 of college and then moved over to a state or private college. They could have been saving money for school. They could have been working a second job. They could have been doing a whole bunch of different things. What I mean is they had options. But instead, what did they do? They went to that school, that very expensive school, and they took out a loan, and they didn't care. They were going to pay it back. And so now they're in the situation where they've got debt. See, part of managing your money is trying to stay away from debt. And if you are overextending yourselves and you don't understand that you have the ability to control what you're spending and you have the ability to control the money coming in, and if you don't know how to then use it wisely, you're going to sign on that dotted line every time when there's a loan available to you. You're going to go out and buy cars that are not financially suitable for you, and you're going to overextend yourself. And then everyone who has overextended themselves with a car loan and who have defaulted now go into the subprime, very expensive way to buy a car. Now you're into subprime loans, or what we used to call hard money loans in real estate. And it's hard because they're so high and they're so expensive. But that's what they've opened themselves up to until they can clean up their credit, and that takes a few years to do. But if you were to understand, if they would have been taught that early on how to justify the use of their money wisely, with common sense, and if they knew that XYZ dollars were coming in and they only had XY going out because they couldn't afford the Z, they would have made better decisions in managing their money. Good stewards. We need better good stewards. The only problem is that if you watch TV and the news and you see how the government is spending their money, people say, well, why should I do it? The government keeps spending money. They don't have the money to spend. So when they see failure at the top, guess what? There's going to be failure at the bottom unless they're trained to think better, wiser. I tell you, we have really put this country into a mess. The education system is not doing their job in getting these people's lives ready to face the real world. And let me tell you, that real world is tough out there. Even for us old people who are trying to make it every single day, it's a tough world out there. When inflation goes up, we're having to face off with these stores because their price of food is tremendously high. And now we have an issue that with OPEC and Saudi Arabia cutting back on oil production, what does that mean? Well, it means that our oil prices, our gas prices will go up. Unless we can start producing it here in the United States for Americans. That's the only way we can do it. But we have an administration in power now that does not believe in gasoline. So we can sit back and we can laugh at this, but it's very serious because these guys are fools. So we don't want our young people to be fools. So this is what I'm proposing. And let me know, comment back to me through email and tell me, I would really like to start an online program where we are teaching kids about money coming in, getting jobs, how they spend their money. I think it's time that someone does this because it's not being done in the school. So we have to think out of the box and we have to present something out of the box to these very good, smart young people who just need guidance in how they're using their money. So comment back and tell me exactly what you would like to see taught in this online class. And tell me what problems you have had and what you would like to be trained in if you were going to take this class. So send me a comment and send it to my email, thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. I want to hear from every one of you out there. And I want to know exactly what your experiences have been in your financial world and how you would like your children to be better prepared in making these financial decisions for themselves. What are the options out there besides going to an expensive school where you can literally be on a lower cost side of education and make it through? I tell you, I'm not looking at where you went to school anymore. When I get resumes in, I'm not looking at where you went to school. I'm looking at how well you did. I'm looking at how well you present yourself. I'm looking at what you have, what experiences that you have that are going to benefit my firm. That's what I look at. But I also want to know that you guys, or the young people out there, are really thinking about their business. A lot of companies now are running credit checks on these individuals. That's been a common practice now for quite some time, is that they're running credit checks on individuals, especially if they're going to be handling money. If they're going to be making, or they're going to be taking on jobs where money is involved. They want to know that they handle their personal life, their personal finances well enough. So send me a comment. Tell me what you would like to have your kids know about handling money, because it's important. It really, really is important to have individuals who know what they're doing. Listen, if you would like to sit down with me for a business consultation, it's all confidential, go to my website at www.lodge-co.com and you can book a session with me online. I hope to hear from you guys. Let me know. Everybody go out and have a great day. Love you guys. Bye-bye.